Hi, I'm Kim Warren, author of Strategic Management Dynamics from Wiley. Executives these days are very busy, but surprisingly, you'll find that many of them have got really quite serious management books on their bookshelves. If you Google strategic management, you'll find a huge number of books, many of which are textbooks. But of course, like any field, strategy moves forward over time, and this is just one example of that phenomenon. The book includes some important new ideas that haven't been covered before. This book takes a rather different approach to strategy from many of the existing textbooks. Typically, these will start by trying to understand market and competitive conditions, and then look at how the organization can develop a strategy to perform well in those difficult conditions. In contrast, what this book does is it tries to understand how the organization itself actually functions, in the case of a business, how it makes money, and then puts that organization in the context of competitors and the marketplace to see how the firm can do well and compete better against its rivals. Management and the consultants who advise them focus on improving performance already, of course, but many strategies that come out of that process are little more than a spreadsheet-based forecast. Now, a spreadsheet is a perfectly good hammer for hitting nails, but it's not much use if your task is to drive in screws. So what you'll see in this book, rather than the 2x2 boxes and checklists common in other books, is a lot of time charts showing how organizations are actually performing as time goes by. This book doesn't ignore all the existing ideas in strategy, of course. They are important and useful. What it does do is it explains them in their own terms and then connects them to this issue of how performance develops over time. This might sound a bit technical, but you'd hardly ask a finance professional why they bother with the technicalities of doing a cash flow analysis. Professional strategic management requires work to be done that's thorough and professional. The basic principles of this approach are really quite straightforward, and the book provides plenty of frameworks and exercises to help people learn them. The strategy field is just too broad to deal with all of the issues in one go. This first edition deals with strategy questions for single organizations, and it's hoped that the second edition will go on to add attention to corporate strategy, issues such as diversification and international expansion. The principles in the book also work very well for non-commercial situations such as public services and not-for-profit organizations. It seems as though other people in the strategy field are thinking along similar lines. There was an interview in a recent edition of the McKinsey Quarterly in which Professor Richard Rumelt mentioned that his view was that strategy dynamics is the next major challenge facing people in the field.